Hello folks, and welcome back to my channel, The Scottish Model Railway Guy. So this is going to be a continuation of Altonhill Pit No.6, and it's going to be over in the corner what I showed you in part 1. Now this is part 2, in case you found this video on its own. And what this is going to be looking at is what you can see in the bottom corner. So let's get to it. The next part is going to be building the pit head, and then probably part 3 will be weathering it. But I've got a wee surprise, because I've bought a couple of motors that I'm going to add to it to actually make it function and work. So let's see how that goes. So this is what we're going to be aiming to build, which is this pit head here, or colliery head. Quite hard for a Scottish guy to say that. Can we make this turn, this circular part? Unsure, but what I do have is a couple of motors that I got from Amazon. I'm just going to open that up for the first time. Now, these were described as slow speed motors, geared motors, 3 volt. So in theory, if I was to put a positive and negative on that, then we could be in a situation where this little gear train here slows this spindle down, and I guess we'll check that at some point. But yeah, so I bought those quite cheap, actually, much cheaper than I thought. But be wary, because there's a lot of very high speed motors out there that you will not need, because I want a slow motion on that turning. Now, what does that actually look like in real life? It looks like this. Double O gauge colliery pit head. And I'm just going to say, it says please go to Laser Model Store /downloads for assembly guides. Now I went there and it's just some pictures, right? So the pictures, going by the fact it's just some pictures, it looks fairly straightforward to do. More straightforward than a Metcalf build, for example. But I guess we're going to find out, so I'm going to try and follow those images that they've put in there to get this complete. But for now, I'm going to snip it open and see what it actually looks and feels like once this laser cut model is out. So there we go. I'm suspecting that they'll all just pop out if the laser's cut to the right depth. It should be fairly straightforward to pop them out. If not, you can see they've all got these little tabs here that are left in the laser cut, so it must buzz along and then gap, and then buzz along and then gap. But that came away no problem. What it is, I've no idea. But what I'm going to do is just start popping them all out and take it from there. But there's no point watching me pop all these out. I might as well jump to hyperlapse, and then I've got everything sitting out that I need. Going by this, I think the only other thing we're going to need is a sort of high-tack glue. Wait till I see if I've got some kicking around. Amazingly, I do, and it's called high-tack glue, and you can get them for a couple of pounds for B&M and places like that. So that's what I'm going to use to put the dabs on to get it to hold. Now the curious thing for me is, and I'm glad now that I've opened it up, it's got a little circle in the middle. So one way or another, I'm going to be able to make that spin on a shaft. If I was incredibly lucky, that shaft would be that size. And by the way, it's very close. What you can see though is the shaft has actually got a flat on it. You bring that up really close to see if you can see the flat on that. So in theory that flat would drive it. What I might do is wedge something in there so it gives it the drive. But we shall see. Like I said, I want to go for much higher level of reality with this build, but for now let's jump to hyperlapse and you can see me unpackaging all this. And that is us. Now, like I said, Laser Model Store, and it's not a paid promotion, but they've got a download section here, so I'm looking for the one that I've got, which is the 00 colliery pit head. Just going to click on that, and it's came up. Assembly guide, page 1 of 10. So it's showing me, or it should be showing me exactly how to construct it. Okay, it's fairly basic. Ultimately it should look like this once built. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and follow that. I'm not going to talk you through it, but you'll see me doing it in stages, so I'll just start off with stage 1 and see if the units are any good. So here we go. What I would say is I'm going to pause it every now and then, and if you notice that, that's when I'm reading, because I don't want to bore you to death with reading. But yeah, just so you know that that does exist there, and there is a guide on how to do it. So let's see how easy that is. So the way it kind of works is everything runs off this baseboard here, and you've got to build the tower first. So I've started that, right, but what I noticed is, and this is a watch out, these are handed, so they'll fit in one way but not the other, so I didn't really want to fit into there. So just be mindful of that. It's worth having a sort of dry run on it. Now you can see that went straight in there, right, but it won't fit in over here. So what I'm going to do is, with that in mind, I'm just going to test this other side. Now it does say the ones with the narrower sides you do first, and you can actually see that if I overlay it, it's slightly wider on this one. So the narrower sides are for either side, and this one goes at the back, and then the sort of shorter one goes at the front, and they all fit into these little square pegs. You can see little square pegs there. So with that in mind, I'll just check I've got the narrower one, which is that. I'm going to flip this on its side first, get this one back in, and we'll take it from there. But what we should really be doing is putting little dabs of glue on it, which I'm going to start doing now. This is high-tack PVA glue, little bits. Stick that in there, and then ultimately in about half an hour that should be stuck. Now you watch that doesn't go off. Just repeat that again with these, and then it's a case of putting it together, and you get the picture. Now looking at this, this is going to be easier than building a Metcalf build, because a Metcalf build typically takes, I don't know, it can be anything from a couple of hours up to, depends what you're building. If you're building a little bus stop, even that's fiddly, but they come out fantastic. I would never criticise Metcalf for the finish that you can get off them. But this laser cut model's looking really, really promising. So I'm just going to check that again before I shift on, that that's handed correctly. And it is, it slots in there just nicely. Not going to glue it yet, because I reckon this is a little more complex than you think. It's upside down, doesn't help. But ultimately, will it fit in there? No. I'm going to bring that round to show you. And it is a little bit fiddly. I'm going to take this one out. And I don't know if you can see that, but it doesn't quite. However, you spin it, it will fit in. Now that's curious. Oh, hang on, that's because I've got the wrong one again, because this one's got 4 pegs on it, as you can see if I lift it up. So one way it will go, just nice. The other way, the pitch just doesn't seem right for it to slot in. So what I do know is, I want to be that way, and this one we knew was good that way, So ultimately we want to be dabbing these with glue and then slotting that in. You can see they're different colours, so dark to the outside in this case, but on this side it was light to the outside. It won't matter ultimately, because ultimately I'm going to be covering it in probably a primer coat followed by I don't know, I might go with blacks and yellows for the danger bits, and then try and weather it. So what did I say? Light to the outside, was it? Or was it dark to the outside on this one? Dark to the outside. And it goes. So I could slot it in while it's in position. Not sure how the success of that's going to go. I'm going to find out. Nah, I think I'll take it off, dark to the outside, and then stick that on like so, one at a time. Hopefully they just fall into place, and then we've got a little tower. It's more fiddly than it looks. So I'm just going to pause it there and take my word for it that I went through a sort of process to get that. So pausing now. And there we are. How long? Well, I say roughly 45 minutes to build it, which is pretty quick. Now you can see I've got the electric motor in the top and I haven't put the wheels on yet, right? So here's the idea. What happens is these wheels go down through there, but I don't want to put them in just now because I have to let the glue set fully on these well, bearing blocks, I guess they would be like. So what happens is these go through into there, the holes line up, and then this little shaft here goes through both wheels, right? And that would be it. You could spin them by hand. However, with them having round holes, my thoughts are I'll use a motor to drive it, and I think it'll be a nice wee project to have something actually turning on the layout. May move it into something that actually lifts something up and down this shaft, but we'll wait and see. So my thoughts are, instead of trying to, you know, drive a belt over the top of this wheel, it would be better to sit this little geared motor here, and then it'll turn the shaft. It'll be sitting through here. I won't do it because it's still drying, sorry. And then it'll turn this, which in turn will turn the wheels in position. And that's going to be the next episode. So for now, we'll leave it there. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I think it's a really tidy little model, and it wasn't overly expensive, to be honest. I can't remember how much, but it's turned out really great, and it might be a showpiece of the sort of coal mining area. And that's what I'm trying to do, is give it a sort of unique feel to it in my layout. So yeah folks, hope you enjoyed that. We'll switch back to the layout and see some trains running, but please do like and subscribe if you choose. It would be appreciated, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything we've done today. Thank you.